Hello, we are going to do a review of the brunch that is at the California Grill, which is in the top of the Contemporary Resort.
Fancy.
So we actually decided at the very last minute, I mean like 2 days before we left, that we would like to do this. What brought it about is they have like sort of a fireworks party.
Oh yeah, we're trying to get into that, right?
Yeah, we were trying to get into that. They did not have it for our trip, which turned out to be good because the reviews for that were not very good. But while we were reading reviews for that, we came across Josh from easywdw.com. I'll put a link.
Yeah,
I have no affiliation with him, but he did a really great review on this brunch.
It sold us.
He's very honest. That's why we trust his reviews. And so he had a link to that from the other review. And so we went and read that and we're like, wow, this sounds fantastic. And so we decided to give it a try. Yeah. And we're so glad we did. Like the short of it is it was fantastic.
So the price, what was the price?
$80.
Whoa, I paid that?
Well, and it's actually more than that because then they tack on I think 18% gratuity.
No, they don't force it on you.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Oh, sorry. Then I take that back. But it does not include it does not include gratuity and does not include tax.
Yeah.
So you're spending, I wouldn't say 100, but it's closer to 100 a person. It's somewhere 90 to 100 a person by the time you add tip and tax. No, it probably is close to 100 by the time you add.
I think I gave our server a ton of extra tip because she was amazing.
Good. She was really good. So anyway, if you follow our other vlogs, you know this about us. We rarely eat a signature because we love to eat at nice restaurants, but it's that value proposition to us. A lot of the signatures just not quite worth the expensive price.
It's also a time investment. That
too. But in this case, I think it was well worth the money and the time. This is a time where I think we both felt like we got a great value, and he's more frugal than I am. So if he's saying that, it's a good value.
So it's a brunch only on Sundays. It starts at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., right? I think it's
double check that. Well, the hours may change when you go, so double check. But I think he's right. I think that's what it was. So
we got what kind of seating? 11:30.
11. Because we were so late to the game, it was fully booked. So I had to keep checking over and over and over, and I mean over and over again.
Sure enough, we got in. So.
But sure enough, like I think the Friday before, we were able to grab an 11 o'clock seating. And it was perfect. Like I think we actually left before 1. It didn't even take us 2 hours, and it felt like we were there forever, but it didn't take too long. And so we treated it as sort of lunch. I mean, we ate some breakfast food, but we were using it as our lunch for that day.
Right.
And
so you check in at, just like if you're going for California Grill in the evening, you check in at the level 4. 2?
I think it's 2.
Might be level 2. I don't know.
I think it's 2. But
the normal check-in.
Just ask at the front desk if you're not sure.
Yeah, for California Grill. So then you walk on the elevator. They whisk you up to 15th floor. Is that 15th floor?
I believe it is.
Yeah. And as soon as you get off, you got someone there waiting. They already know you're coming. They go ahead and get a mimosa into your hand, which I thought was funny.
If you want it. They also have a non-alcoholic cranberry spritzer if you'd rather have that.
Yeah, and then we were immediately set, right? We didn't wait around.
We didn't wait. They asked me for my phone number so they could text me, but then we never had to wait. It was like instantaneous. Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and make a comment about the mimosas that you brought it up. So we actually saw the bartender pouring them as we walked in, and he was using Cupcake sparkling wine. Now, if you're not familiar with that wine, here, that is an under $10 grocery store wine. And I know some people love it, and that's great. I'm not a fan. And I was just shocked, since they're known for their wine selection and everything, that they couldn't have something just a little bit nicer.
I mean, if we're going to be honest, I think it's because they're being cheaper because it's mass production. Because we noticed at the Wave, their mimosas, they had
really nice,
nice champagne. Was it champagne?
It was still sparkling wine, but it was a very good quality. So I did decide to try one because I don't want to make a snap judgment just based on seeing the bottle. I did not like it. I had one sip of mine and that was it. And did you have two?
2 or 3, and I couldn't even tell there was really wine in there. So
well, we saw him pouring it. He put maybe an ounce of wine in the mimosa.
They are good about coming around and see if you wanted another one.
More mimosas,
because it is unlimited mimosas, And
that's included in the price. That's
you drink that much orange juice.
Yeah, because it's mostly orange juice or fruit juice. The mimosa to me, that I've had mimosas I did like, and I just didn't like that one. That's just me being honest. But they are unlimited, as he said, and so if you really enjoy mimosas, you might get your money's worth just there. I think it would be hard to get your money's worth, though. It's so little wine and such an inexpensive wine. I definitely would not go to this thinking, oh, I'll get my $80 worth with mimosas. Because I think some people might think that if they're thinking it's going to be an expensive sparkling wine or champagne. I wouldn't bank on that, and that's the only alcohol that's included. Yeah, they did have an elaborate Bloody Mary bar, and I mean elaborate, but that you had to pay for that, and they were pretty pricey.
It was $15 and like 2 or 3 different types of Bloody Marys, I guess based on the liquor in it. I don't know what it.
And a lot of people were getting them, so they must have been good.
It looked fun.
It did look fun. So do you want to talk about what was on the Bloody Mary bar? It's pretty neat.
It looked like a lot of fun.
And we didn't have one, but it looked pretty neat.
Yeah, I've only had one Bloody Mary, and it was at the Flower Garden Festival last year. It was the Urban Mary.
Urban Mary.
Yeah, that thing was spicy. It was hot. It was on fire. But yeah, so anyway, so they had a full toppings bar for your Bloody Mary, which I thought was hilarious.
It was items on skewers that you could stick into your Bloody Mary.
So I guess you tell the bartender which ones you want, and I noticed you can get 5, and they actually had shrimp, and it's like huge, ginormous jumbo shrimp that they had on skewers, so you could probably just get a drink and say, give me 5 of those shrimp, and that
you would totally get your money's worth.
Your drink turns into a shrimp cocktail.
Yeah, and a big shrimp cocktail, because each skewer had like 3 or 4 shrimp. So if you, and they were
no, I think it was just one big shrimp per skewer.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think it was
multiples. Well, anyway, I think you would almost get your money's worth for the drink if you did that.
Other things they had was cheese, I think, on skewers.
Some kind of meats, like
bacon.
Or and like. Oh yeah, I think they had some maple dip bacon or something like that. I don't know. They had a lot of fancy, cool looking
It's like
things.
Its own little, all-you-can-eat bar right there off to the side. That was neat.
That was neat.
So as soon as you come in, you get your mimosa or other drink, the cranberry
spritzer.
Yeah. So
and they literally hand that to you as you come off the elevator. It's neat. It's a nice touch.
First thing you see is a live band, and it was a 2-piece band.
2-piece jazz.
We'll say for my taste, they were a little loud.
That wasn't their fault. They had them over amped. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that area is small enough, they could have just had it be ambient without any amplification, and it would have sounded fantastic, because those guys were talented. Yep. They played a mix of just sort of pleasant lounge type jazz, but then they also played jazz versions of Disney songs, which was really cool. I heard some Beauty and the Beast music. That was really awesome. Those guys were great.
And they actually piped that music out, what they're playing, on observation deck, which I thought was pretty neat.
That was neat, because we went out there, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I will do my best, if I can find the footage, I will try to put some at the very end of this video, a little clip of them playing, because I can't do that while we're talking, or you won't be able to hear the music, because they were really great. They're very entertaining.
And then they took us to our seat, which we lucked out. It was a window seat.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I could see the castle, and I don't know what your review was.
I had a view of the ticket center.
Sorry.
No, it's nice.
I guess I had the best view.
Well, I could see the monorail come and go, so that's cool. It's a nice view.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
So then your server comes to you, gets your entree order. She goes ahead and gets your entree order. Which did you get?
Well, I got 2 entrees, so that's a tip. They will not advertise that you can order more than 1 entree, but that was one thing we got from Josh's website, which again, I'll link below to. I'll try to link directly to his review of this. You can read that too, because that's what inspired us to go. He had mentioned you could get more than 1 entree. They don't tell you that. So I ended up ordering the same thing as Brian at first, except he modified his slightly. It was Eggs Benedict with lobster tail on top.
Man, oh man.
So good. And he, of course, had the ham left off his.
Yeah.
If you've seen our previous vlogs, I've mentioned I'm not a ham enthusiast. Those were my exact words. This ham was fantastic. So I mean, it was really, really good.
She forgot
ham.
to say leave it off.
I forgot to, and it was
she tried
so
it and
good.
she loved it.
Yeah, really good, but very heavy, very rich. It had like a really thick hollandaise, which I know is standard, but it was so heavy. So this is not a light dish. Mine came on gluten-free bread. His came on an English muffin, and I think that would be my only complaint, which is not their fault. I don't know that I've ever even seen a gluten-free English muffin. It's probably one of those things that doesn't come out right. The bread wasn't good, so I actually ate everything on top of the bread. And
a little bit of bread.
I had a little bit just to try it. It wasn't great.
So we ordered one entree each to begin with.
And
I got to tell you, the poached egg was poached to perfection. I mean, that thing was like jiggling on top of that English muffin, you know?
Yeah.
You cut into it and that, you know.
Oh, and the eggs were high quality. If you're not familiar, grass-fed eggs are bright orange and mass-produced eggs are lighter yellow. These were a dark orange. So these were really high-quality eggs, which was impressive to me.
So she'll take the order, then she'll run that to the kitchen, and then you're free to get up and go to the bar.
Right, and I'm going to interject a little bit about gluten-free. I got the gluten-free menu handed to me, and what was initially looked nice is it told you what was gluten-free on the buffet, because usually you have to ask. However, I was a little iffy about some of the items, so I asked to talk to the chef, which I would definitely do if you're gluten-free and you ever do this. Because he said, oh no, that's not gluten-free, and that's not gluten-free, and that's not gluten-free. And it was marked on the menu, this is the allergy menu, to be gluten-free. So that to me is a bit scary. I will try to put a photo over our faces right now of the gluten-free menu, but don't go by that. Definitely ask for the chef. So some of the items that were marked gluten-free was almost all of the sushi.
Yeah.
And he said it was definitely not gluten-free. It was made with soy sauce that had gluten in it.
That's kind of scary because you can see that and say, oh, the sushi.
I'm good to go.
I'm going to go jump up, get some sushi. And then
it's very scary.
It's not gluten-free on the bar.
Very scary. So, anyway, and I mentioned that to the chef that was scary, and I'll probably send Disney some feedback as well, because I just don't want someone getting sick. That is a little scary. So what was nice though is then they made all of that sushi just for me, and they brought this massive platter. I mean, there's no way I could eat it all.
They make it all in a roll, so they're going to say,
they just brought me the whole roll, and I ordered multiple kinds, and I asked them for just 2 or 3 pieces of each. They brought me the whole roll of each. So knowing California Grill's sushi prices, I probably had like $60 of sushi on that plate.
I had a ton of sushi that day.
It was, because he got his own first. Then he helped me with mine because I had way too much.
It was really good. What else did I have off the bar? The cheese. Some of the pickle relishes in the jars. Definitely try those.
The charcuterie was awesome. That's the section you got that from.
Yeah,
the cheeses, the meats.
I think a lot of people were overlooking those pickled jars foods, but they were amazing.
They were like fresh made pickled items, not the kind that you buy sitting on a shelf.
Yeah, definitely not from store. Those are good.
Oh, and remember those tiny little super sweet peppers?
Oh yeah, the red peppers.
Tiny, little bitty. They were so good.
And then past that, what was the next thing past that? The sushi, I think, was the next thing?
I think so.
Which was amazing, of course. And then some cold salads, which I tried. One of them, I think, I can't remember what it was called.
They had multiple cold salads. I got a wedge salad. It was so good, so good. It was like the blue cheese and the bacon. And it had like a whole piece of bacon. And it had a little toothpick going through. It was really cute.
You had some deviled eggs there. They had a lot of meat.
Deviled eggs.
You can ask for that stuff, I'm sure, because all the chefs are behind the bar. You can ask for it without the meat. I just didn't really want to bother with it. So
well, there's so much to eat.
Yeah,
there really was. It was so much food. They had pastries, which you and I did not partake of much. I had a gluten-free scone just to try it. That was the only gluten-free pastry they had.
Cheddar cheese biscuit.
And it was okay. It was not the worst gluten-free scone I've had, but it wasn't the best either. I think I ate a bite and said no, to the rest of it. What else did we get off the buffet? Was that it?
Yeah. I mean, the bar doesn't have that much food.
Right. This is not like when you mentally think breakfast buffet, this is not a traditional brunch buffet because you get entrees delivered to the table. So this is more of appetizers. That's what I would call it, like appetizers.
Let's see what else. So I think I filled up on sushi, and that was it for me. So by the time
sushi was good.
By the time you do 1 or 2 trips to the bar, your entree comes out.
Yep.
And
but it doesn't come out fast. They give you plenty of time because I was able to actually walk with the chef, get a tour, go back, get some food, wait for the sushi they custom made for me to come in before our entree came out. And that was one of the things we loved the most, is you never felt rushed. It felt like they didn't care if you sat there all day. There was no urgency feeling. However, our server came by plenty of times to refill water, mimosas. They even had extra people running around pouring mimosas. So you definitely couldn't complain about any of the service. Fantastic.
And so I think when our entree got delivered, that's when you asked about the second entree, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so she explicitly told me, yeah, we don't advertise it, but we definitely will do it upon request. So I got the hanger steak, but I asked not to get the accompaniments because at this point I was getting a bit full. I love steak, so I wanted to try the steak, but I didn't want another set of eggs, another set of potatoes. Well, first set of potatoes, but more. I didn't want a bunch more food. So we asked for the potatoes to be in a separate dish for him.
And they were amazing.
And so he had the potatoes, and then I asked her just to leave the eggs off completely because I didn't want to waste the food. That hanger steak is the best steak, and that's not even like the best cut of steak. It was the best steak I've had on Disney property.
Nice.
Now, to be honest, I haven't had a lot of steaks at signature restaurants. For some reason, when I go to signature, I usually get seafood. But of the steaks I have had, that was absolutely the best one, and it was cooked perfectly. I asked for medium rare, and they tend to overcook, or you end up getting completely raw. Well, it seems to go one way or the other with medium rare. And this was exactly medium rare. So, I mean, yeah, you wouldn't expect less from a signature, but it's still nice when you get something that perfect. And it came with a chimichurri sauce, and they put that on the side for me. Also fantastic. It was really, really good.
So I didn't get a second entree because I was going to have her potatoes, and I already filled up on sushi.
He helped me a lot with my sushi because they brought me so much. It was unbelievable. I hate wasting food. And even though I didn't ask for that much, I just hate leaving, good food behind, but I also don't like stuffing myself. So I just had just the things I wanted.
So it's a nice, relaxing meal.
Well, you forgot dessert.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I totally forgot about that.
And that was neat. And we're not sweet people. You've heard us say that probably a million times, but it was really neat, I thought.
Yeah. So they brought out, what did you get?
They only had one gluten-free dessert, and it was, I don't even know how to describe it. It was sort of a spongy chocolate cake with maybe some ganache on it. It was not very good. I'm sorry. And that's not just because I don't like sweets. They have a flourless chocolate cake at Mama Melrose that's to die for. So, I mean, it's not the issue that I don't like sweets. The texture was just not something that I found pleasing on this cake, but you had some good desserts. They brought him this really cool pedestal.
They bring this to your table. You don't go get it.
Yeah.
And I forgot what it was. I know one of them was
macaron.
Yeah. I can't remember the other ones. I'm confusing it with the tea.
One was a little tart, like I had raspberry in the middle, and you said I usually don't like these, and he actually liked that one.
I can't remember what it's called, but they were good. Oh, and some chocolate with some almonds in there, maybe. I don't know what it was. The chocolate
covered,
was really
good. Yeah. So it was all good.
Yeah. So then after we finished up with our meal, we walked out on the observation deck. Amazing views out there during the day.
So beautiful. I think that's the first time we've ever been out there during the day. And by the way, they send you out, if you're facing the Contemporary, they send you out the right side. So like when you come back at night to wash wishes, you go out the other side. I'm talking about if you're facing the front of the Contemporary.
Both sides are open.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we went out. I guess it's where we were sitting.
Yeah, we're right there at that door.
Yeah. So amazing. So amazing.
So since we went up for the brunch, you're wondering, well, can you still go back for wishes in the evening? Yes, you can.
Yes, just keep your receipt.
But when we went back, no one asked. Well, I had it, but no one wanted to see it. They just whisk you up. So
yeah. So, but they could ask for it. So be sure to save your receipt. I would say the overall experience was just positive all the way. Yep. I mean, the only thing I would change if I could is fix that gluten-free menu because that's dangerous.
Yeah.
And turn the music down just a little. Yeah. We actually had a hard time hearing each other, and for a brunch, that's kind of a relaxing thing that you don't need loud. Yeah. The music type was perfect. It was just the volume was a little bit too high. And maybe they do that to sort of drown out when children are upset or something, because I was surprised to see so many small children there. But I would just think a child would be bored at something like that, but they were there. So, and also I want to talk briefly about the dress code. The first time we went to California Grill years ago, we adhered to their dress code and realized we were the only people who did. At this brunch, I saw everything. I saw stuff all the way from people dressed up to people in shorts, but Brian wore a collared shirt, but he wore shorts. And I think I had jeans and a t-shirt that day because that was one of the cooler days. We learned you do not need to adhere strictly. I mean, yes, you need to take your hat off and have a shirt on and have shoes on, like the basic stuff, but they don't strictly enforce their dress code. So don't feel like, oh, if I don't want to bring dressy clothes, you don't have to bring dressy clothes. I actually wish they would do away with the dress code because I think it makes you ridiculous. Well, it makes you feel silly when you do adhere to it the first time and you walk in and everybody's in shorts and t-shirts. So I wish they would just, do away with that. But just to give you an idea of how much we love this, I was actually trying to work it into our next trip this year. I couldn't make it happen schedule-wise because that's the hard part. We're usually there for only one Sunday morning, at least where we have enough time to do something like this. Right. And it's just not possible this coming trip, but will we do it again? Definitely. Yeah. I would like to do it at least once a year. I just thought it was a super experience. And I would say we're probably two of the most picky people. When we spend money to eat out, we have pretty high expectations or we're disappointed, and this just did not disappoint. Anything else that we've left out?
It didn't feel crowded.
No, the tables are spaced really nicely. Server was fantastic, wasn't rushed.
There weren't like 50 people up at the bar or anything like that.
No, you could always easily go and get to whatever you wanted and see what's there.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was really nice. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So we give it a Adventures of Peas and Carrots.
Garrett's official stamp of approval.
2 thumbs up, yeah. That's now my favorite meal on Disney property. That's moved to the complete top of all the meals I've had there.
I think Boma's still gonna be mine, sorry.
It's a close second. We love Boma, but that one, value-wise, Boma's better, but I think, as far as it being good, this is better. So thanks for watching. I hope this was very helpful to you. We would definitely highly recommend it as a treat. It is expensive, but we feel like it's worth it. And I do think you can easily get your value. I mean, when you look at the prices of buying these things a la carte, I actually came out ahead.
Doesn't Josh do I think it is right.
He does do a breakdown
of the prices.
Yeah, again, link in the show notes for that. Yeah. But yeah, I think his was conservative. I think I blew it away. I think I got way more than my money's worth. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we appreciate subscriptions, likes, shares, and leave us a comment. Have you done the brunch? Do you want to do the brunch? What have you thought about it if you've done it before? And if you've had one of the other signature brunches, we'd love to hear what you thought about those as well.
Ooh, there's other brunches?
Yes, there are.
Uh-oh.
So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye. One other nice aspect of the brunch is they have some really great live music that really sets the mood. We really enjoyed it.